Did they fake the final experiment? Well, some are suggesting they did. I mean, it all started with the chroma key incident right near the start. Since then, we've had people pointing out the shadows and that it would suggest more than one light source. A few channels thought that perhaps the whole thing was filmed in a dome-type studio using hundreds of screens. They've since pointed out in certain clips that where certain people are standing, there's no compression in the snow. And they're suggesting again, it's because they're all filmed in the studio and they're not actually snow in certain places where the individuals are standing. So we've had the shadows, the footsteps, the chroma key incident, the suggestion it's filmed in a dome. The one thing that kind of caught my attention was Vapegate, and I thought that was strange. And we're going to have a little look at that. Bearing in mind here, I don't care what the results are in Antarctica, whether there was a 24-hour circling sun or not. Doesn't bother me in the least. Regardless of the results, it won't refute anything I've ever said. That's why there's no hit piece videos out there of me making silly claims about places I haven't been to. None. Because I all stood by what is. So regardless of what the results are, doesn't refute me, and it doesn't prove a physically impossible globe Earth. But it would seem like, obviously, it's a big push to sell this globe Earth theory to the naive and the gullible here, off the back of the narrative that's being run. But let's have a look at the clip in question. Well, we've got to look at two clips here. Like I said, from now what is quite a famous incident known as Vapegate. Bear with me. Okay, so this clip here, we've got Austin Whitsitt reading comments on his phone. And someone's about to ask him, why can't we see your breath in these cold conditions? Now, the clip's about 3 minutes long. I'm going to play it in its entirety. I will stop it a few times just to highlight a couple of points that are going to be relevant when we cross-reference this with another bit of footage from a different angle, capturing the same scene we're looking at now, okay?
It's so bright. Why isn't your breath foggy? It's not as foggy as it was a second ago. It's kind of foggy right now. But right before I started the stream, I tested it, so I knew you guys were going to say that. And my breath was like super foggy earlier, but it's not really foggy right now. I don't know. No humidity? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's super dry here. That's why my lips are super chapped. It's not even windy. My lips are super chapped. Just pick up some snow? Okay. I'm not wearing gloves, so that's a terrible suggestion. I'll be right back and grab some gloves. I'll pick up some snow.
So I want you to know, he walks away. He's going to come back to the computer in a minute, turn the computer off and just play some music while he goes to get his gloves. This will be relevant as a cross-reference with the other bit of footage we're going to watch in a minute, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna play her song again while I go in here so no one else maybe says something they don't want on stream on my headphones. I'm gonna go grab my gloves. This is a good idea anyway.
Now our mate's going to go away, get his gloves and come back. When he comes back on screen, the first thing he's going to do is blow, and we're able to see his breath in quite a dramatic fashion compared to what we've seen just now and what we're going to see after, that would suggest that he's had a blow on some sort of vape. And when we look at the footage from a different angle, it would suggest that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, why would Whitsitt need to do that? Why is the question. I'm just going to forward it because there's about a minute here of just that music. And let's come back to when our friend reappears here. Okay, so we'll come to about here, okay?
There's a little breath. What's up now? You have to take like deeper breath.
So he comes back on screen, overwhelms us there with his breath being visible, and then straight after there's no visible breath, which would suggest he's done something off screen to make his breath visible, like a vape, for example. We'll keep playing because I want to use this little clip play this clip a little bit longer, just as another cross-referencing factor here.
It sucks, it hurts your lungs. Okay.
So he's now walking away to pick up some snow. Walks back to the screen and drops the snow. So that's our other reference point, okay? So this is the same clip from a different angle. We've got Austin in front of the camera stroke laptop, talking, looking at his phone, answering questions. Looks at his phone, tries to do the breath thing. Someone's asking him about the snow, says he's going to go and get his gloves, walks away. Notice he walks away, comes back to turn the computer off or put the music on and the screen black, goes to get his gloves. Now when he comes out, it looks like he's taken a puff on a vape to, of course, give us the effect we saw when the screen came back on, which we were able to see his breath. And you'll see that it comes out, looks like he's puffing on a vape, puts it in his pocket, turns the computer screen on, and gives it the big one with his breath. Come back again. In fact, let's play the clip once more. In front of the screen, looking at his phone, asked about his breath, tries to blow, he can't see his breath, asked about the snow, will go and get his gloves, comes back, puts the screen black, puts the music on, goes to get his gloves, comes back out in a second, appears to take a puff on a vape. Like I say, appears, I'm not making that claim, but it's very strange. Comes back out, appears to take a puff on his vape, comes back onto screen, turns the computer on, and of course, we saw him blow out the smoke. Or let's just go back to remind ourselves. So back to the original clip.
There's a little breath. What's up now?
Well, I'll tell you what's up now, Austin. You doing that has just made this whole thing and yourself look very, very suspicious. And why? What did you benefit from that? Why? We could see your breath blatantly, so much so it appeared that you'd had a puff on a vape. When we cross-referenced looking at the other footage, again, it did appear that way. We couldn't see your breath beforehand, and once you'd blown out your breath out having come back off screen, once you'd blown it out, we could no longer see your breath again. And as a result, like I said, you've now made this look and yourself look very shady. Why would you do that? Remember, folks, I'm not making any claims about this. I've just sat back and watched all of this. I think there's going to be a lot of things chucked out there to mislead And I'm not making any claims other than demonstrable reality, which proves the globe Earth theory is physically impossible. But like I said, I just found this clip, the stuff we've looked at here, a little bit strange, to say the least. And of course, the mainstream media now have run away with this, with the participants claiming to have seen a 24-hour sun. The mainstream media now running away with it and using their angle, claiming flat earthers have proved the globe. Which of course I highlighted was always going to be the case, the angle they were going to run, should that be what is the observation that they've cited, should that be true. Again, I don't know if it is true yet. I haven't seen enough evidence to suggest it is. I want to see all the footage released so I can cross-reference and look at it. That's why I've not called out any, made any real claims of fraud yet. I want to see all the other cross-reference footage. The only reason I showed this is because I could do just that. I could cross-reference it, and I find it very strange. You can come to your own conclusions here regarding this. Of course, regardless of what happens or what these people say, they're never going to change the physicality of the Earth, which of course, as I state quite often, proves the globe Earth theory is impossible. There's no demonstration to refute that, which is why we have to entertain propaganda pieces and misrepresentations on a regular basis. Was this final experiment faked? I'm guessing only time will tell when the rest of the footage comes out and we can cross-reference things. Seems to be taking quite a long time for the other footage to come out. I wonder why. Now let's just say there is a circling sun. It turns out the evidence suggests from multiple different angles that there is a circling sun in Antarctica. Let's just go with that just before I go. Fascinating observation. Now for the people that are going to ask me to give an explanation of that, I can't help you with that unless you grant me full exploration of this realm so I can get data and map and model and have a better understanding of this place before I can answer the questions about places I don't have access to. Until that point in time, I can only stand by the physicality of the Earth, which of course is the subject we're discussing anyway. So I won't get wrapped up in red herrings about things in the sky. Certainly not at the expense of the physicality of the Earth. Especially when the subject of the matter of questioning is the Earth, what it is. So let's strip this subject bare, bring it straight back to the base. If there's a circling sun, it requires full exploration based off the fact the globe's physically impossible. I asked for that 10 years ago. If the model pushers and the concept pushers hadn't had their way and the algorithms had tickled them and put them in places of prominence, and instead of that we all stood by the physicality of this Earth, we'd have enough leverage to demand full exploration based off the fact the globe is physically impossible. So in that sense, we're back to day one because of this silliness of promotion of concepts and ideas. You've got to stand by what is. That's enough to highlight the globe's physically impossible. Pushing concepts and ideas will only get you in trouble. You've only got to look at the pantomime that's going on at the moment. All right? Full exploration answers the questions. Until then, the physicality of this Earth destroys any idiotic belief systems like the globe Earth theory. Have a good one, everyone.